I was looking for an apartment to renovate, to live in and everything. And then, of course, because I'm an eco-designer, it had to be done in a sustainable way. So this apartment is around 58 square meters, small or big, which for two people I think is plenty of space in Barcelona. We try to maximize all the space, and we also put a lot of storage wherever we could because it's quite high. So like up here on the door, we put like a platform to have more, and then on top of the bathroom, all the space on top is used as storage. The condition for the apartment was that each room could have windows for natural light, obviously, and ventilation. And we also didn't want to have a strange shape where we lost lots of space on corridors. And we had it clear from the beginning that the kitchen would be open in the living room because we like to cook and we like to have dinner parties, and so it's a bit annoying if one has to be in the kitchen and the others are having a good time. The kitchen, most of it is from IKEA because the wood that IKEA uses is all FSC-certified. So if it's solid wood, it's not a bad thing, and everything comes flat packed, so they're very efficient in their transportation. But then we decided to do the doors of the kitchen with these old wooden wine boxes. It goes on top of a plywood, but it's screwed because we didn't want to use more glue. So you need a really good carpenter to do this. Some are wines that we got from friends or that we drank in certain dinners. It's nice to have like your memories inside the kitchen. No? The floor was difficult because we had some really amazing floor made from recycled TV screens, but when they arrived they weren't the color that we ordered, and then it turned out that the company actually closed down, so they didn't have any nice colors anymore. And so we had to find like really quick a substitute because the workers were like, okay, we need to do the floor to carry on with the rest. And so we decided to use this by Tau because it's a local company, so they're made in Spain and they don't have much transport impact. And the companies, they reduce their energy consumption a lot and they recycle all their water on site. So we thought, okay, that's good enough. And now they have a system which is called dry system. So you don't put them with mortar, and that means that you can easily replace or take them out again. Because now the problem is all the stuff that you stick in apartments are difficult afterwards to recycle. And of course the metal pieces are like, we didn't want to put big cupboards up there because it's open to the living room and would be too much weight. And also this is much less material and it's metal, so it can be easily recycled in the end. And here we have recycling, so plastic and paper over there, and the organic waste goes in the worm compost. So here's our little urban garden. And then this is the worm compost bin. So we put all the organic waste from the kitchen in there, and then the worms transform it into fertilizer for the plants that are on the 3 balconies. I think it's really nice because you can grow strawberries and beans. We have some beans over there that are starting, and herbs and things you like, and so you see where it comes from. The lavender smells nice, it looks nice because like there isn't that many green spaces in Barcelona, so at least when you look out of the window you have something live. This mirror we actually found in the street, and so we were looking at that time for a sliding door, and so we just decided to make the frame and use it as a door to the bedroom. Sometimes it's difficult to find an alternative to, for example, mirrors. Like, what do you have? An eco mirror doesn't really exist, so we choose a lot of second-hand objects, also because we like them and they can have a history. So the lamps are second-hand, the chairs, the table is actually just a piece of glass which was in here, and the workers, it's really heavy, so they didn't know how to get rid of it. And so I said, no, this is going to be the table. And they were like, what? So we just found these, what do you call it? The things done, the structure in the street that they use when they paint. And yeah, so it's the dining table. So the lamps. This one is second-hand. This one we made from a container. It's the same like the Bidon lamp. Just this idea of reusing old containers. It's the Bidon lamp, we call it, because it's made from a bidon, like a jerry can. Oh. That's you can find them on the street in Barcelona. So all you do is you take off the lid and put a light bulb in the lid, and that's it. So we did a few versions like for the ceiling as well. This chair we found in the street. We didn't take the pillars. The pillars are new. It had this like old shiny wood, we didn't like dark. And so it was either like taking off the varnish or covering it up. So we decided to put newspaper around it to give it a different look.
Looks like it's German?
I think it's from Luxembourg.
Oh, okay.
And the floor is cork from Portugal. It's a really nice, easy to maintain, good quality cork floor. It's renewable now, so the bark grows back, and that's what you use. It's biodegradable in the end, and it's from nearby, like it's a local product. It's kind of warm, and it also insulates the apartment together with the double glazing. So, like we don't really use air conditioning because it's cross ventilation naturally. So we just open the windows in the summer, which is fine, and then in the winter we have these low H2O radiators. Because it's so insulated, we have them always on very low. It doesn't need much. Some people actually don't realize, but they come in and they think that this is it. So, you know, and then they're like, oh, there's more space. And I was like, well, bathroom? You know?
Yeah, bedroom.
Yeah. So this is the storage space up there. Because here's the bathroom underneath. So it's just to there, and everything up there is storage. The closet, it was difficult to find one that would fit there and that would like keep all our clothes and everything. So we decided to build it, and we used OSB because it's the one like fiberboard that uses least resin, because the pieces of the wood are thicker, and so during the production the resin, natural resin of the wood comes out, and you don't have to add as much artificial resin like in MDF, for example. And we also like the texture of it. It looks a bit like straw.
Can you open it?
No. No. The hanging things are stuff bumps that I designed together with Graham Hill for Tree Hugger years ago. They're made from 100% natural felt and recycled cardboard, and it's to stuff things inside. So we have underwear and socks and everything for small spaces, because when they're empty they would be flat, no? So you stuff them and then they become more 3D. Bathroom. So here we used some recycled tiles. So it's not slate, but it's recycled plastic. We did a bit of an experiment because usually it's used for roofs, but we thought, okay, well, let's try them inside because they're actually quite nice and the water doesn't like get into them like natural slate. The mirror is just second hand because there aren't really any alternatives for mirrors. So if you want to mirror, you have to use this material. So it's better, I guess, to use one that's already made instead of wasting it and not having to make a new one. These are just IKEA again, so it's plastic, but it's completely recyclable and long-lasting, not much material. The sink also is especially designed to use very little material, because usually a sink doesn't break. I mean, you throw it out because it's out of fashion or because you don't like it anymore, you want a different one, but not because it's broken. So we decided to go with this one so that whoever comes here in the future and wants to throw it out, it's at least not too much kind of a landfill. And then the taps have all aerators in them, so to save water. It mixes the water with air and then you use up to 50% less. And the toilet is a stop system, so you flush once to start the water running. Yeah. And then when you flush again, it stops. So it's not like when you can only choose between 6 or 12 liters, but you just use what you need. Our eco-friendly dryer is just a washing line, which in Barcelona is very common, but I know in other countries people don't like to use it, or it's not allowed, or for aesthetics reasons, but it's actually, you know, really cheap and the clothes smells nice and it's just there, it doesn't use any energy. It's Spain, so it doesn't rain too much, but we have like a plastic that we put on top if it happens to rain and the clothes is not dry yet. So no, we don't even have a dryer. We don't need it. And you can also plan your wash not to do it exactly when it rains, which is the positive thing of living in Spain. And, oh, the studio.
Yeah, great.
So this is where I work, together with Sophia at the moment. We left the original floor in this room because it was the only part where it was still more or less intact. So we just had to fix a few places, but in here looked okay. The light is another experiment of the Bidon lamp, but a wall version. The chair is steel cases think chair, which is a cradle to cradle certified. Because it's completely recyclable and already I think some 40% recycled. And it's easy to take apart, and most chairs are sort of glued together and not with screws, and so it's kind of difficult to take them apart and to put each piece with the material that it belongs, no? Afterwards when you recycle it. So this one is designed specifically to be able to be taken apart and easily recycled. The doors were like that, so we just took off the paint and left them naturally, so just with some eco oil to treat them. It's nice because the colors really came out in the beams. Okay. It's important for me to disconnect and close the door when I'm done with working, because otherwise it can be a bit too much working from home.
Do you think this would be enough for a couple of kids?
No, definitely not. I mean, maybe if you give up the studio, but then because the bedroom is on the way to the bathroom, so you would have no privacy.
Yeah.
That was the original idea, to have the bedroom in there and the studio in here, like an open workspace. But then here there's much less light in there than in the other one, so we decided to switch them around, and also because it's nice to have the bathroom next to your bedroom. This is actually one of my products. So it's made from cork, and this is the frog version, but then there's also a migrating songbird and a polar bear, because they're all animals affected by global warming. So it's about raising awareness. And a percentage of the sales goes to Tree Nation to plant more trees. So yeah, it's a bit cruel. There's lots of innovation and things going on in eco-design and eco-technologies and stuff, but then some of them are not on the market yet, or more in research phase, or you have to order them in Japan or know whoever. So this is about what's already available in Spain. So you can make the same project in New York or wherever, but then you should make it with materials from there. So it's just more of like the way of thinking, and to show that eco-design doesn't have to be ugly or more expensive and can also be practical.